God said, what was that? You rejected the very thing that I gave you because it didn't come in the form that you asked for.
What's up?
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
Hey, Mom.
Welcome to Moms Actually. My name is Morgan.
And I'm Blair.
And we have Megan Ashley. What? How? I don't know. God, I don't know. Like,
Dream
what?
guest.
This is crazy.
Yes,
But we are so grateful that you are here. Thank you so much for coming to just hang with us. This
Yeah.
is,
I
you
mean,
know,
who wouldn't want to hang out here?
I
You guys
mean,
set it up pretty nice.
you know, we
Nice.
try. We try just a little
It's
bit.
very nice.
Now, we want you to introduce yourself. Tell the people. I know the people know who you are.
Yeah.
But for the one
Okay.
who doesn't, just, you know.
My name is Megan Ashley. I am a content creator. I am a lover of Christ. I'm a mom, and I have some amazing kids. And I guess my job is to share my journey.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm doing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. Like I said, we are really excited to just get right into the episode. But we always give you guys a little moment to do something very important.
Yes.
And if you don't know what that very important thing is, I want you to tell them, Blair.
Press that button. Press
Subscribe,
it. Subscribe.
please. We're going to wait.
Yep.
All right, cool. Now, let's get into some really good conversation. But before we get into the conversation, before we start just, asking you all the questions and getting in your business,
It's all good.
we'd like to just do a little bit of something. So these paddles here are here for a reason. They are, what are we doing
We're
with
going to
these?
play a little game so that, we can get comfortable, icebreaker kind of thing. So it's called It's Giving Motherhood.
Okay.
And so we're going to ask you some yes or no questions. We're going to ask you some either or questions.
Okay.
The gold is yes or the first option. The white is no or the second
Got
option.
it. Okay.
Okay. You
Right.
ready?
Vote yes. Wait, no.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay. Question number one.
Okay.
Have you ever felt judged for your parenting style?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
I'm like, does
Probably.
everybody
Yes.
right?
But it's like always for different reasons, which is why nobody
Yes.
can win. Like I travel a
Yeah.
lot, so people will be like, you never home with your
with
kids or
kids,
something
yeah.
like that. People
Yeah.
are home all the time. Why don't you go out and get
Yeah.
a life? Like you can't win.
Yeah.
I feel like I was judged the most, or I felt the more judgment when I was younger.
I was gonna say for being an almost
Yes.
teen mom.
Yeah, almost teen mom. So I was 20 when I had Layla, and I feel like everybody would always just try to tell me what to do. Like I did, like the simple things that moms, the intuition just kind of kicks in, even if you don't all the way know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It was just always like, "Oh, you sure or
Yeah.
you better make sure." Or it was just
Yeah.
always that, and I'm like, guys, I know.
Yeah.
This is my daughter. I'm not gonna let her,
Yeah.
be out here.
It's the 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. You want the help,
yeah.
but you
Yes.
don't want the overbearing
Yes.
opinions. And it's like,
Yes.
if I ask you for help, give it to me.
Yes.
If I don't ask,
Then don't do it.
keep it to yourself.
Please.
Keep it to yourself. Okay?
Yes.
I'm trying.
Yes.
That's all that matters. I'm trying.
I agree.
Yeah.
Did you always want kids? Yes.
Yes.
No.
We know your story.
Yeah, I was like, I'll start with the yeses.
Yeah, I always wanted kids.
Yeah.
Ever since I was young, that was like one of the things that my mom said that I used to say all the time, like I couldn't wait to be a wife and a mom.
Aw.
That's
And
noble.
so,
Yeah.
I just always, but I was always good with kids too. At a young age, I was always the one that had all the little babies at church,
Yeah.
with me. So I was
Did you have a number? Like you knew you wanted like 4 or 5 or 2?
I think when I was young, I wanted to have as many as I could.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then when I got older,
Because that doesn't mean anything to your
Yeah,
body at that
it's
time.
like,
oh, this is what happens
just
when I
show
have
up.
I
kids.
wanted a big, because I'm a mom's only child, so I'm
I'm
was
an
raised
only
like
child,
an only
too.
child. So
Gotcha.
I think you, as an only child, you kind of always desire a big family,
Yeah.
big,
No.
siblings.
She
Is that
said,
she's
"Not
like,
me."
No, I was like, yeah, no. I was like, what did I just say yes to?
Right.
You're like, I like being by myself.
Yes, I wasn't the extroverted, only like the one who liked to be out around people. But my parents
Yeah.
also didn't have friends, so I just grew up in a very silent
Silent,
lifestyle
okay.
in general.
Yeah.
No cousins, no nothing.
We had a lot of everybody was my mom had a lot of friends and they became family.
You guys were the house.
Yeah,
You had all the aunties.
yeah, like all the so I just always wanted a big family at a young age.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wanted the kids too?
Yeah, I thought I wanted at least 4 or 5, and then I realized quickly,
Instantly.
like
Yeah.
as quick as I did not snap back, is how quickly I knew that I did not want that many.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
that was me.
And yours are around the same age, I think, as mine. As
11,
far as,
7, and 5.
yeah, and I have
Yeah.
13, 10, and 9.
Yep.
And so when they're little like that, at the same time,
Them 2 in diapers. That's what actually made me potty train my middle quicker.
That's what made me-
because as soon as my son came and they were both in, I said, "Oh no,
Mine
we're
pooped
not
at the same time
Yeah, we're
because
not
I
doing
wanted
that.
my kids close together.
Like, I don't
I
want
was like, I'll
twins,
pay for it
too.
up front for it
No.
to be.
oh, you definitely gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
And it was,
No.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
But no, I didn't want any. I knew how much responsibility it was.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was going to be work, and I didn't want to do it. Like think about it, your only child. I've never had to really consider anybody else. I knew that about myself.
You're like, nope, I don't want to.
I love that you're self-aware enough
Yes.
to know that.
Oh yes. Very. And
Because
then
I think naive is the other side. Like
That's
you
true.
think you jump into it thinking it's going to
Yeah.
be like,
Easy.
oh, because it's something I've always wanted,
Yeah.
and then it's like, yeah,
No, I know I'm giving because I want to be. When you have kids, it's not a choice.
yeah,
No.
It's not a choice
at all.
Having to
At all.
become a morning person.
Yeah, I didn't. The two things, I did not want to take my kids to the bus stop early in the morning,
Yeah.
and I did not want to do car seats in the rain.
That makes sense.
I was very like,
very
So
specific.
you already had that in
Yes.
your mind before you even experienced it. You were like, I
100%.
don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that.
I understand, and that is
That's
motherhood.
okay. Yeah, it is.
That's
It is.
like you have to do a bunch of stuff that you don't want.
Bunch of
No.
stuff you don't want to.
But do you feel like because you realized that up front, it made you more prepared going into motherhood? Because you already I feel like you were already assessing out all the things that
I would
didn't
say
wanna do.
the only reason it didn't. So I was surprised. So my birth control failed, and that's a whole story.
Okay.
And then I think when I had them, I had postpartum anxiety. So that kind of threw me off. Otherwise, I thought I was prepared for it only because I'm very analytical and strategic and prepared. So I'm like, oh, I can do this if I do it like this. But then the postpartum anxiety just kind of threw me off. And I realized as a person who never needed help, I can figure out how to do anything. Like I can zip my dress up if I have to. I can do all the things. And then I realized oh, I need help. And that was a weird thing to need help and to have to ask for help. Yeah.
especially when it's for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I'll help anybody.
I
but-
identify with that a lot, for sure.
So, do you feel like the expectations of mothers are unrealistic?
Absolutely.
I'm like, is this a question? Next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the world forgets that we are women. The world forgets that we are human.
Yeah.
Human. Yeah.
Like, point blank and period. But I said woman first because once you become a mom, it's like you are a mom. It takes away all the other things. We don't have any other issues. And I feel like you say it all the time. You didn't realize your mom was a woman until you were older.
Have you ever thought about that? Like when you were asking for things as a teenager or a little kid, your mom might have been going through it with her best friend or her husband or whatever.
Yeah. Had a bad
I
day at
never
work.
considered that until a year or two ago.
Until
Ever.
you actually go through things.
Yeah.
I mean,
as
I've
a
been
woman.
going through stuff before that, and I
You
still didn't think about it.
What do you?
No.
What was it that made you?
I have no. Maybe we were. I think this platform because we're focused more on the women, so I started thinking more about it, and I was like, man, my mom probably
was going through it.
yeah. And because now we're she tries to talk to me more, and I'm like, man, you were probably and I'm complaining about going to a party, and you're
Yes.
like, I just
Or I didn't
fought
take
with
the
my
chicken out the
yeah,
freezer
chicken
like
out
you
the
asked
freezer.
me
I
to.
mean, but I realize that's a thing now.
Oh, it really
I saw that.
is. No, but truly,
I should have took the meat out the freezer.
Yeah, it's awful how society treats us at times, and then even just even relationships, and there's just so much.
Yeah.
We get the short end of the stick.
I think that's a thing that we see a lot is this yearning for identity with women. And because when we get married, we lose our last names. When we
Yeah.
have kids, we lose our first names.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
you
good.
lose your identity. I lost my last name. I lose my first name.
That's
Who
good.
am I now?
Yeah.
And I think that people don't consider the impact that just life has on a woman.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of us that we have to serve
Yes.
all the time
Yeah.
in so many capacities, in so many ways. And that identity thing
It's lost.
is, and I think that that's the thing that we're really searching for that we can't.
Especially since most of us don't find our identity before marriage and kids because we're so focused on
Focused on
trying to
getting
get marriage and
Those-
kids.
Yep. So
And
you do whatever you have to do and
get
become
that.
whoever you have to become to
Yep.
get the thing that you
And then
think
you have no
want.
foundation to rest on
Yep.
when things happen. It's
When
like,
things
dang,
go
now I got
awry.
to find out who I am amongst all
Yep.
of this stuff.
Which is why when postpartum depression comes in,
Yeah.
it's that grounding in reality that you still have to be taken care of.
Yes.
You are still a person.
Yep.
And you have to figure out who you are, and it's not predicated on you being a mom and you being a wife, because those things clearly didn't sustain you when you were going through postpartum depression.
Nope,
You know what
I
I'm
could
saying?
functionally do things, but I didn't have a grounding. I
Right.
didn't
It
have
didn't
any of
give
that.
you the. It wasn't the solution. It wasn't the medicine to
all.
fix it.
Exactly.
It obviously it helped. Like you love your family.
Yeah.
Because as moms, we can get on a soapbox and it's like,
Yeah.
so do you even like your
Yeah,
kids?
you got to go with
Or-
the, but I love my kids.
Yeah, it's like you
my goal is
have
to say that a lot less because
Yeah.
people will look at you like,
But it's like, how are we gonna get anywhere if we're not being honest?
Yes, and that is-
I think
we
that's
gotta
what
be
made me.
honest.
I talk so much about self-care now because of the fact that when I went through postpartum depression so bad, I realized I was like, none of that little cute stuff works. I have to look within and figure out what is going, because a lot of the times the depression and all that stuff that does happen, postpartum is already a thing. Whether or not
Regardless.
you tag on
Your
anxiety
your
or
hormones
depression on
changed.
top of it, it's already a thing.
Yep.
So once I realized that and all these things were coming up, I was like, okay, I need to deal with these things. And it's going to take more than a massage.
And 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with your children.
No. No.
It's like all the stuff that
you
you
buried.
avoided
yep.
leading to this point is now the thing that you have to, like, you can't escape you. And I
Yeah.
think that that's the thing that I would want
Yeesh.
moms to know or people to know in general. You can't escape you. You're always going to find yourself.
Look at you jumping ahead.
I'm
No.
sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, you
No,
good.
But I'm
No,
just
I
like,
love
that
that.
is
No.
like, that is a thing that I'm like, and maybe because I'm in this season, so y'all are getting like a real raw
I mean,
version.
That's what that's what this
why
place-
we're here.
yeah.
So you're getting
This
a
the
real raw
place.
version of me, but it's like you can't escape you.
Yeah.
No matter where you turn, you will
can
always
fake it for
find
everybody
yourself.
else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if you don't address those things, it's a rude awakening.
Oh yeah.
It's a rude awakening.
Rude.
And then you realize, like, did I go after these things with the purest intent?
Woo. Yeah, that's true.
That-
Now I'm a mom and I'm a wife and I'm not happy.
That's
part.
why. And you know how when you're young, everybody tells you enjoy your single season. You're like, yeah, but
You're
you
like,
don't. But now we get it.
Listen,
It's like enjoy your single season. Like
Yeah.
enjoy it.
not
because,
only just
whew,
enjoy it, but
take it.
be a good steward
Steward,
over
a good
your
steward of it.
over your season,
Yes.
Yes.
over your life.
Yep.
Because you are going to find yourself in a position that you haven't even prepared yourself to be
Yeah,
in.
at all.
You so busy wanting to be a wife and a mom, and you have done nothing
Nothing.
to address you.
Nothing.
And you wonder why you're not happy. You got all the
Yes.
things you were chasing.
You're
Yep.
supposed to come in whole. Figure
That
out
whole
what you
50-50?
like. Yeah,
No.
no.
That whole you complete me,
No.
that whole you my
Rest-
better half.
Recipe for failure.
No. Because
Okay.
what happens, not even if
She's
the
like,
person,
you want it, you got it.
I think about, like, not even if the person leaves you, but if the person, it becomes sick and becomes a vegetable.
Then what?
Yeah.
Then what?
Then what?
Now you
Or-
gotta be a caretaker and you're taking care of the person that you needed
Yep.
the most.
That's true.
What?
And people change, like in seasons
Yeah.
in marriage, like you're not the same people. So whatever they gave you in the first 2 years, they might not give you in
Yeah.
the next 2 years.
So
Like,
you're leaving yourself open to be filled completely by somebody who has
Might not
every possibility of changing.
Yeah.
Like people don't, I tell people this all the time because I've been married and I'm no longer married. So I feel like when you go through a divorce, you kind of have some wisdom
Oh,
that
yeah.
other people don't have, right?
100%.
And I think that it's extremely important to know that when you are saying yes to somebody, I'm going to get married to somebody, that you are saying yes to the possibilities of a person.
Yeah.
I am not just saying yes to who you are right now. I'm saying yes to who you could possibly be. And not only am I saying yes to you and your possibilities, but I'm saying that I'm going to commit myself to you through all of those possibilities.
Yeah.
And we don't take that in consideration, which is why you see divorce happen like this.
Oh no, I tell
Like
people
flies.
marry them assuming they'll never change.
Assume they
Like
and
nothing,
assume
like
that
I'm
nothing
talking
will
the
get
worst.
better.
Yeah, the worst thing about them, imagine it's gonna stay. Because we are like, oh, when we get married or when they get a little bit, like we put all these expectations and then they're the same person.
And you're disappointed.
Yeah.
Or women, and I've been guilty of this too.
We all been.
I'll say this. I ain't even gonna just say I've been guilty of it. But like wanting to be married so bad, or wanting that thing so bad, wanting the baby so bad, wanting the marriage so bad, or whatever, that you're willing to become not your authentic self to gain those things. So then when your authentic self shows up and what you got
inauthentically, the cool girl.
Now you are
the crazy one.
You crazy. That's why I say show your crazy up front. Don't be the cool girl. Go to Vegas, boo. It's okay. Have fun. Do this. We are so malleable and flexible so that someone will love us or like us. And then eventually you got to be yourself or whoever your fallback is, because most of the time we don't know who we are. It's just...
Well, you have to also ask yourself, do I like me?
Yeah.
Do I even like myself?
And I don't always like myself.
I say I get on my last nerve.
Yeah. Like
on a regular.
Yeah.
I am on my own nerves all the time.
What is going on?
So I get, you know what I'm saying? Until I get on my nerves. So I can only imagine the people in my life.
Yeah.
If I were to ever get married again, I would never enter in that space without fully knowing who I am. And fully having an identity of Megan.
Yeah.
Not Megan as a mom, not Megan as a content person, not Megan as a whatever. Who am I?
Yeah.
Just on my own.
Yeah.
Do I even like myself?
Yeah.
Do I respect myself?
Right.
Do I respect my decisions?
Yeah.
I think would save, and addressing those questions would save a lot of people from a lot of heartache.
Okay. Do you take time for self-care that isn't tied to regular life maintenance? Like your nails, maintenance. Showers, maintenance. A massage, maintenance.
And I'm gonna be honest, because I actually saw something about that not too long ago when they were like, self-care is not taking a shower. Self-care is not,
I'm big on it.
getting your nails done or getting your hair done. That's not self-care. That's just life maintenance. That's adulting.
You get back home and you're still the same person. So it's not self-care. Self-care is supposed to actually transform you.
I call it soul care.
Yeah,
How
soul
are you
care.
caring for your soul?
I guess I would. This is real time happening. I'm like, how do I? Well, I guess if self-care is soul care, then I would say, like the time that I spend with God would be like my self-care.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say
is
that.
too. Just stuff like that, even sharing. Because I was like, Mom's actually, it's work, but it's my self-care. Like it's what I do. It transforms me. It opens my mind to things. I meet people. It's transforming me. It's taking care of me so I can be better as a person.
Yeah, and all the roles that you have to play in your life, for sure.
Yeah, I would say I definitely, y'all know me. Y'all know me. I'm pro self-care, soul care, because I realize that I just cannot do without. I live too many, I play too many roles. I wear too many hats. And I have found myself in the darkest of moments that I'm like, if I don't do this, I will indeed be crazy. Or I just won't go forward and live to my fullest potential. And everyone is going to not benefit in a good way. Like everybody is going to really, really, I'm going to bleed all over people, essentially.
They're going to suffer.
And I don't want to do that, especially not over people that I really love and care about. I just know what me not caring for myself looks like. It's not good.
And that's why nails can't do it.
The nails can't do it. They look cute, y'all.
And I understand everybody can't, people think because they can't afford, it's a special money spend. Sometimes they think it's self-care. It's like, no, it's still maintenance.
Especially too, if you're going into those spaces, like not even, at least I'm gonna get off my phone. I'm gonna allow this pedicure. Maybe this is the only self-care I can do, but I'm gonna allow this pedicure to, I'm gonna sit here. I'm not gonna be on my phone. I'm going to control my thoughts. I'm actually gonna think about what I'm thinking about. I'm gonna actually take inventory of my life right now. Because this is the time I have to do it. So if you do if pedicure is that, just take full advantage. If the shower is all you can do that day, take full advantage of that shower.
She was practical advice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, take advantage of those moments, because I know how it is as a mom. Sometimes that shower is all you got.
The car ride.
The car ride home from work. I used to utilize those moments.
Me too.
That's
I
my
had an hour
favorite
commute.
moment.
Oh, I usually numb out those moments. I like disappear in those moments.
Yeah, like, I don't know
my
how I
brain
got
just
home.
I empty my brain in those moments. I don't want to think about nothing.
I talk to myself. I talk to God.
Yeah.
But it's just that taking that. I knew that I needed that time when I used to work, and I was working like a 9 to 5. I needed that time from that environment before stepping into mom environment.
Clock it in.
I needed that in between to be like, okay, let's have a Megan moment.
Yes.
Let's just be Megan for a second.
TM, Megan moment.
You know, like let me just be a Megan moment
good-
for a
Yeah.
minute. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you. I heard it. I picked up on it. I received it. I got it. Downloaded it. Yeah. But yeah, I just taking those moments to just be not a mom. Not a wife. Not an employee. Not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Take a moment and just who are you?
What are you feeling right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. And I'm glad you said that, because we hear all the time, especially the single moms, they're like, I don't have the time to do all of that. I'm like, sometimes the gym, like, and even if it's not the gym and it's me literally right before I go to bed, putting on a YouTube, like little 5 to 10 minute ab workout or something, and then finishing with a bedtime yoga, like that's my moment. That's it. But
They got stretches from bed, girl.
They
You don't
have
even got to get out of
stretches
bed
from
to
bed.
work out
I have
anymore.
one that
I
is so
YouTube
good.
them. 'Cause I'm that lazy sometimes.
so good.
They do. They got workouts for bed,
Yes.
core work. Like they have.
That's
There's
good.
really
There's
no
a way.
excuse. Yeah,
There's
there
a
is.
way.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We learned yesterday. No
Oh, yeah.
excuse.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
and it's
excuse.
not. Sometimes it's not that you don't have time. It's just that you're not organized.
Yeah, not organized or got
You're not
excuses.
organize your time.
You don't really want to do
You
it.
don't want. You
don't
don't
wanna
want
do
to
it.
do it.
Yeah.
And
Because if
sometimes
you
you
want
gotta
to
be
do
honest about
something,
that.
you'll do it.
Yeah. I don't want to work out.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do. I have equipment
nice.
in my garage.
Don't get touched.
It won't.
I have to be
And
held.
I
Like I
have
have to
to
be
be
accountable
girl.
to
You know what I
someone
mean?
to do it.
It's like just go do it. You didn't
Yeah.
got it in your house. You don't even gotta go nowhere.
See, I have to be
And
held
I still
accountable.
be
Someone's
like-
got to like go with me because
Yeah.
I don't want to
We've
do
been
it
doing
either.
so good.
Well, because I made friends at the gym, so now I feel like if I don't go, they're gonna be
like,
like, that girl
"Where's
didn't show
Blair?"
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to be held accountable. Things I don't want to do by somebody else. 'Cause
Yeah, I'm the same.
I
way.
won't do it.
Okay. Have you ever caught yourself saying phrases your own parents used to say?
Yes. You don't even know what a
100%.
headache is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to get so offended because I had headaches.
Right. I'm
But
like,
they-
I really do have one.
But now, like, I think 5 years ago, I realized they meant like life.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't
Yeah.
been through life to have a headache.
Yeah, yeah.
or like
haven't
if
gone
you're
through
sick and you laugh a little bit and you're not sick no more.
Yes.
you
It's
good
like-
now, huh?
Something was just funny. That's
Yeah.
it. I still have strep throat.
Yeah.
Something was just funny. Like I'm not immune to laughing. Relax. Yeah, but that's how I get it. That's how parents, especially
Yeah.
black parents.
Yes.
It's like,
moms.
girl, you fine.
We-
It's like,
we-
I'm not fine. My
not.
temperature is 105. I'm not fine, and ginger ale's not gonna do it.
Water. I
crackers.
say drink some water.
Like, I had the mama that, like, when I had pink eye, I would go to bed, right? I would open my eyes. I would see clear. Would close my eyes, go to sleep. I would open them up, and it was olive oil because she has anointed my eyeballs. I said, so not only do I have pink eye,
Nah.
I got olive oil in my eyes.
but now you're adding on to some sort of infection I have with olive. A simple prayer would have sufficed. I'm sure God would have done it. Yeah.
No, my kids can be sick, and I'm like, we still having school. They're homeschooled. I'm like, we still having school.
There
today.
is
I
not.
don't
She
play.
don't play.
I don't play.
with
I'm like,
the
you still
schooling.
doing whatever you guys need to do.
They
I'm
got
like,
the timer on.
I always tell them they are fine.
I be feeling so bad from Nova
Yeah.
and Kofi. I be like,
Unless something's really happening, I just don't like. I'm just like,
It's
unless something
Saturday.
is really happening, I just believe words matter and excuses. And I'm just like, I don't know if they're really sick.
Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe I missed it.
Yeah. Be
But
like-
I'm like, let's go. During COVID, we started that. I found a girl who was in school to be a teacher online, and she came and she's been with us for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, my daughter really is. I feel bad though. I feel like it puts her at a deficit in life. So she's Mensa. She's a genius because she has like. I think it's because she has higher than level like comprehension. She's not like the kids on Ellen where I'm like gonna name every single country or whatever.
Right.
But once people know you're like smart or genius, I feel like it's like I'll be like, no, but what's 6 times 3? She'll be like elephant. I'm like, see, you're making me look like an idiot. I feel like there's just so much pressure once you're supposed to be smart.
Yeah.
And so I've been working on being like, you're a hard worker, you're all this other stuff, not you're smart or not you're this. Okay, would you go back and change one thing, anything, and you could still get, how about this? Because people are like, oh, I still want to be where I am today. If you could change one thing and still be where you are today, would you?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few things.
It's just a couple
She's
people
like more
that
than
I would have
one.
dodged, you know?
Would you guys change anything if it changed where you don't know if you'd be here or not?
Oh, I know for sure. If I would have
There's
never
still-
met this person, I would still be here. Sorry.
I don't know what to do after that. Go to the next question.
Sorry.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely like little nuances in my life that I'm like, my life would probably still be the same. You were unnecessary.
See?
Yeah.
You know, yeah,
what
like
I'm
some,
saying.
but then again, it's like you don't know, you know, so every.
Would you risk it all?
Yeah, it's like, I think whatever, if I could change anything, as long as I have what I have with God right now, that's the only thing that I'm like, as long as that doesn't change, that's the most important thing. And being where I'm at, I know that so many of the stuff that was painful led me to this point, which is why it would be hard to be like, dang, I wish that didn't happen, but that led me here.
Yeah.
What about you, B?
Anything before the last decade, I might like risk it, but like the last decade has been like the most transformative I've had. So it's like I wouldn't change anything good, bad, ugly about the last decade. But like before that, like man, if I could get away from some of that and still have gotten to the last decade, then
Yeah.
I'd 100% change some things because life was
Life.
life.
Life. All right, girls' night in or girls' night out?
Girls' night in all day.
Yeah.
Girls' night out while in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
So
I want to
that's
go
the middle.
somewhere and then
come back
stay-
to the house.
Yeah, like
So middle. I'm with you on the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like being able to get dressed up and, you know, really let my hair down, but then I want to come back to the house and chill.
Yeah.
Like all
I like a dinner and then
Yes.
pajamas at the house.
Yes. That.
Like, let's go dress up and do dinner.
Yes.
And then let's come back to the
Yes.
house.
Like,
We got
I don't wanna
some
go
cute
out and
pictures.
Yes, got
be-
some cute pics.
Yeah. On
It
nobody's
looks like
couch
we're
or nothing.
social.
Yeah. Have you ever used your kids as an excuse to why you can't show up to
All
something?
the time.
Y'all know my answer.
Mine too, yes. But it's still the truth.
Yeah.
It's like still true, but
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes
It's
you know,
like, yeah, I have kids, so
Yeah.
I can't make it.
it's not as easy. You can't just pop up.
And we have really gotten into conversation, so it's been great because we're already like here. But I do want to ask you, as you have continued to grow your career and being a mom and all the things, and you're just out there right now.
Out.
Yeah.
Out.
She's like, I'm out.
Out there.
Is there anything that you don't often get to talk about that you're like, you know what? I want Megan to talk about this more. I want people to hear this from Megan. Is there anything like that?
I feel like I have been feeling lately that I'm super redundant. Like I say some of the same things, or as I'm 33 and I've experienced a lot, but like the major points in my life, like my son having autism or being pregnant at 19, like these are things that people
Oh, so
know
you
that
were
are
really
out
the
there.
same
Yeah, like I got
doctor.
pregnant at 19.
Well, see, that shows you feel redundant, but there's still
I didn't
like,
know.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't
in marketing, you got to say something, I think, 3 to 6 times before
Yeah.
it sticks in
Million.
someone's head.
Before it
Yep.
sticks in, yeah. So sometimes I'm like, when you ask me, I'm like, I don't know what I don't get to talk about because I feel like I've had the opportunity to kind of say everything, but probably like motherhood is something I don't think I've been able to really dive a lot into, which is why I was really excited to come here because you know I have 3 boys,
Yeah.
you know, and they're everything.
I will say, when I look at like your profile, and I've been following you for a little bit, I'm like, how does she do the boy mom thing, all different ages, but you are like on the go. You're similar to us. We're always on the go, always doing things. What does the balance look like? What is your off, season look like?
Yeah, I feel like I've experienced motherhood in like very drastic seasons, like being a mom and then being a stay-at-home mom and then being a working mom and being an entrepreneur mom. Like I feel like I've experienced it in so many different seasons.
And a single mom.
And now I'm a single mom.
You've been all the moms.
Oh, I mean, Lord. It's like, where's the manual? But I feel like in this season of my life, it's different again. And being a single mom and navigating my presence in what I'm supposed to do here. And without help, it is impossible. That's all I can say. Like,
Yeah.
I have a child that has special needs.
Yeah.
It would be impossible to do this alone. So I'm thankful that their dad is like super present and a great dad to them. Like, you know, he's very hands-on, super involved. So that's a help because I know a lot of times single moms don't even have that part of it. So like, I always want to like honor him for that part because
special.
he needs, like they need their dad and he's 100% there. So that is super helpful. And then I have Jordan, who's like my fourth child. She's grown, but she's like my kid and she helps me. And it's like, she just can help and I don't even have to ask anything. She can just sense, like even if I'm having like a really bad day, she just is like, I already got that, I already did this, don't worry about that, I'm gonna go do this, I got this, da-da-da-da-da, do you need this? Like she just can just sense without me having to be like, or even breaking down. I can still be actively doing something. She's like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You can go do this and I'll go, you know what I mean? And so help. You know what I mean?
The village.
The village. And then, because I haven't always been balanced. I feel like I am an extremist. So I tend to either go all out.
Yeah.
I don't know how to be halfway in, halfway out, or what that balance sometimes is. And I know that my children have sacrificed a lot of me because when I'm dedicated to something, I'm all in.
Yeah.
You know, and so they've had to sacrifice so much of me, like just their mom not being present.
Yeah.
Even being there, just not being present. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like what I'm trying to do now with this new season that I'm in is I try to be mindful. Like I have, my office is attached to my home, but detached from my home.
Okay.
And so I have a lock on it. Don't come in my, don't just walk in my office.
Yep.
You knock.
Right.
And I will grant you permission or I won't.
Amen.
So that,
Boundaries.
but it's boundaries for me
Boundaries.
for sure. But why my youngest son comes to my door often.
Yeah.
And he don't be wanting nothing.
Nothing.
And I be in the middle
You
of doing
something.
something.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
wants me.
Yep.
And so sometimes or recently, in the last couple months, I would catch myself being like, what? Like, or, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, just hold on or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's now I'm forcing myself to like get up, open the door, hug him, acknowledge him, because he wants something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so even he's worth that 2
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
He's
Exactly.
worth that minute where before I used to be like, I just got to get this done or I got to do this and
Yes.
this and this and this. And then
Yeah.
he's outside the door like, hey,
Yeah.
it's me, your kid.
Yeah, Noble started calling me out on that because I'd like have my phone and she's like, I know you're working from your phone, but I need you to put it down because I want you to
Yeah.
watch this or whatever. And then if I don't put it down, she'll just stare at me until I like
okay,
put
I'll
it
wait.
down.
Until you give me your full attention.
Yes,
Then
Like
but
a
I
teacher.
love that about I
yeah.
like that for her for who it'll be. But it made me realize, like she was asking if she could help me cook the other day, and usually it's my time to like zone out or whatever.
Yeah.
So I prefer
You're
not
like,
to.
I don't want to be an instructor right now.
I don't.
in a-
But
I
I'm
tell
like-
my kids when I don't. I'm like, let's do that on the weekend.
Yeah.
Right
not
now, we
today.
just need to
get fed.
But she's 6. She's only gonna be there for a minute
Right.
before it. So I was
Yeah.
like,
She's
I just
gonna get
need to
annoyed
like
really
get
Yeah.
that second because I do. When you work from home, you work a lot, and it's
Yeah.
hard to turn it off. And I'm like, what's a couple of minutes? Even if it turns to 10.
Just cut this right
Because I
quick
also
or
stay up till
stir
3
this.
a.m. so I can have a lot of alone time. So I'm like, I figure it out.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It's just learning how to actually create the balance.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we're trying to find the balance. It's like you got to create it. Create your balance. Like my balance is if I see my kids come to my door, I'm getting up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to create a moment for us where at least he knows anytime I came to her door, she at least got up and acknowledged me. Whether she did what I wanted her to, because
Yeah.
most of the time it's like, can you come play basketball with me?
Yep.
Absolutely not.
No, the answer's still no.
The answer is no.
Like, you gonna get this
I'm
hug?
not, but you
I'm
gonna
not
get
gonna
this
play
hug.
horse with you.
I'm not playing Fortnite. I'm not playing.
This
none
ain't
of
your
it.
moment, baby.
No, sorry.
I'm not doing it. But you are worth this moment
Yes.
Yeah.
of acknowledgement and love because you have value, and nothing that I'm doing is more important than you. I've experienced the guilt being away, and then I've experienced even being home. not doing anything, that guilt sets in.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, girl, you better get up. You got these kids to feed.
Yeah.
What are you doing just laying around? You need to be, like, I would bury myself in the most unproductive works just so that I could not feel guilty that I wasn't doing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
like
unfortunately
trying
do know what
there's
you
so
mean.
many
Like, you
women
try to
out
fill
there
it out.
that do that.
Yeah.
Just to say that, oh, now
Just
I
to-
can,
yeah.
I checked this off the list,
Yeah.
so now I'm a good mom or, whatever. And it's like,
But I will tell anybody, any mom, what God really impressed on me, like when I was asking him for some heavy stuff to change in my life, like I need you to show up and do something like I need the burning bush experience. I need something.
I said that to God on a walk
You know what
the
I'm
other day.
saying? Like, yo, I need some like I need the real.
Like, I need proof.
Yeah, I want to.
I need to see it. I need it big.
something big. And often when I was in those like very desperate moments of needing God, he would tell me the most basic instructions: clean your room, go play basketball with Jonah,
yeah.
go sit on your son's bed and talk to him.
Yeah.
It would be little things like that. It wouldn't be go move a mountain.
Yeah.
It would be go play basketball with Jonah. Go sit in your kid's room for a little bit and just spend time with them.
It's
And
interesting.
that would move things.
Yes.
It would lift this burden off of me. Even though it didn't fix my situation,
Yeah.
it fixed my
the feeling.
posture and
Yeah.
it fixed the pressure that I felt. Like he lifted it just by in the simple instruction of be a good steward over what I gave you.
Yep.
I gave you those kids.
Yeah.
You so busy trying to acquire all this other stuff,
Yeah.
but I gave you that. And they need you.
What would you say to a mom who is kind of in a season where they are ready to give up on God because they don't see him moving? They want to go, they have a passion and they're like, okay, I want to go after this, but I'm not seeing any signs that I can make this work. And then I'm a mom.
Yeah.
What
What am I supposed to do?
am I supposed to do?
I think the first probably real experience with that where I literally questioned God was when my son was diagnosed with autism. And then right after that, so the next year he was diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome. And so with Fragile X syndrome, y'all know that autism is like this big umbrella.
Yes.
It's a big spectrum and we all probably could fit on that spectrum at some point, right? Fragile X syndrome is where there's a dysfunction in the X chromosome. And so for boys, they only have one X chromosome.
Right.
So when there's a dysfunction in that, the Y chromosome
backup.
can't make up for that dysfunction in the X chromosome. So he doesn't have the protein that produces brain development, which would make him mentally handicapped. We didn't find that out until after we found out he was autistic.
How old?
Wow.
So he was 2 when he got diagnosed with autism, and then 3 when he was diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome. Now, this was the only child that I asked God for. This was the only child that it took time to get. Like I tried and tried and tried and could not get pregnant. And I wanted Caleb so bad. Like I've never desired anything. It was literally like, God, you tell me, whatever you tell me to do, I'll do it just to have this child. And so to have that child be the one that's diagnosed with these 2 things, it brought this intense offense that I had towards God.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I prayed to you. I asked you for this kid. You answered me, and then you gave me this. What's that about? Like, why did you even say yes then?
Yeah.
You could have just said no.
Right.
Yeah.
Like now I feel like you're playing with me. You're playing with me. And I remember having this conversation with God and being very honest, and it borderline disrespectful, but it was very honest.
Sometimes you gotta
And I'm having this conversation and Caleb's in my lap and he's having a hard time and I'm rocking him and I'm just like, why, God? Why? And I remember him speaking to me very clearly and said, why not you? Jeremiah 29 kept coming back for I know the plans that I have for you. And so although things may not look like he's doing anything, although it may nothing feels like it's happening, he's not doing anything, but if you decide to believe in him, then you have to decide to believe in him,
Yeah.
even when you don't see it,
Yeah.
even when you don't feel it. And you have to know that you know that you know that he created you and he created those kids. And in that creation, he gave you the grace necessary to get through whatever you needed to get through for the assignment that he brought in your life. So when you don't see it, just know he's working. He's
Yeah.
doing something. You
Yeah.
may not see it right now. Or ask yourself, am I looking for something specific? Because you
Yeah.
might miss it looking for something specific.
true.
Yeah.
I was looking for, I had begged God, this is just a quick example that I can think of. I had begged God, like, God, I just want to, my son is nonverbal. So I was just like, God, please, I just want to hear his voice. I just want to hear him say that he loves me. I just want to hear him talk. I just want to hear, if Caleb could just tell me he loves me, I would be so happy. We go to a speech therapy appointment, and Caleb has a tablet that you can talk on. And they're working with him on this thing, and I'm out in the lobby, and I'm ready to go because I have to go to work. And so she brings him out, the therapist brings him out, and she's so happy. She's like, oh my God, we have something to show you. I'm like, all right, girl, come on. I got to get to work.
Yeah.
What do you need to show me? Come on,
Yeah.
Caleb. And Caleb is kind of like being a little funny. He grabs the tablet, and he says, I love you, Mom.
I knew that was coming. I'm so proud of him.
And I was like, oh, okay, let's go. All right, Caleb, get your book bag. That's so sweet. Get your book bag. Got in the car, dropped him off at school, and God chin checked me as soon as the door shut, as soon as Caleb got out. God said, what was that? You rejected the very thing that I gave you because it didn't come in the form that you asked for.
Yikes.
You asked
his
for
voice.
Caleb to say that he loves you,
Yeah.
and he told you, but it came in through the tablet and not his vocal cords.
don't
So
count.
you rejected the very thing that I gave you.
My God.
So a lot of times we think he's not
Yeah.
moving, and he is moving.
And the thing is, that seems so obvious. It's like, oh my gosh, but we do that all the
All
time.
the
So it's so
time.
easy to be like, girl, how'd you miss that?
Yeah,
But we
no,
do it
all the time.
all the
Yeah,
time. in
well,
different
I
ways.
set the story
Yeah.
up for you. So
Yeah.
of course you're gonna be like, whoa, this is
Exactly.
amazing. But when
Yeah.
you're living it
yeah.
every day, you're like, get your book bag. You're
Yeah.
not talking.
Like, I'm still, like,
You know
I
what
might
I'm
need to
saying?
stop this, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I need
That
to
was
take-
cute.
yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. But
Yeah.
in that moment when God literally like arrested me,
Yeah.
in that moment, I was like, wow.
Yep.
You know what, God? You're right.
Yep.
And the, the reverence that we have to have when he comes and does things for us and grants those prayers,
Yeah.
we have to be on the lookout for them, even if it's not in the specific package. So just take your idea out and just say, God, however you can do this,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing you guys, Jackie Hill Perry, when she was on the podcast, and she was talking about, she thinks she's gonna live a long time, and then was reminding basically everybody, like, life is about long suffering. Like, it's about suffering. It's not about this happiness and this feel good and all of this. Like, if Jesus suffered, why wouldn't we go through stuff? Like, because life is about a testimony. It's about helping other people. It's about sharing God's name. And if you don't go through anything, like, how are you really going to talk about the wonders and the miracles of God?
Not only how are you going to be able to talk about it, how do you know he exists?
There.
Yeah.
Period.
Like,
right.
honestly, how do we know God exists?
Everything would be us.
Everything would be us. Everything would be. And I think even to put it into a more practical standpoint, y'all, especially the women who are like, I have this dream, I have this thing, or God, I'm asking you to do this thing for me, pay this bill for me, do this thing, and he gives you an idea, and you sit on it.
Sit. Oh, we will
Because
sit.
you'll sit on it, which that's the thing, that's the jar with the oil that could have paid not only your debt, but that you could live off of.
But it wasn't
and you
cute.
decide, but it, now I got to ask people for help.
Like, I will never forget Carlos from the 85 South. We were randomly having this conversation. And he said, women, it's so funny. Women talk about they want consistency. He was like, or they love consistency. They love consistency. He's like, but you ain't consistent with anything. You just like the benefits of someone being consistent with you.
Yeah.
But you don't really love consistency.
Yeah.
But I think that those are like questions that we should really ask. Do I really want that, or I just want the benefit of that?
Yeah.
Because if I really want it, I'm going to be prepared to do whatever it takes to get that thing done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. It's the top of the year, y'all.
Yeah.
If this does not put any, a little extra fire in you, like it should, because I think too much, and we're good on our platform. You were telling you're doing a good job, and we're telling you all the things that encourage you. But one thing that Blair and I wanted for this season,
Blair said, "I'm going to be honest. You may not be doing a good job. You're actually doing a very terrible job."
But no, one thing we really wanted for this season, truly, is we wanted to be able to show you guys that it's more than just the fluff. It's more like you have it in you, but we got to get it out of you. We can't continue to use our kids as an excuse. We can't continue to use the fact that we're burnt out because we're not using our time wisely. Period.
Yep. Yeah. The time, the obedience, and
say that word again.
Yeah, it's obedience. It's like you don't have anxiety. You have a disobedience problem. You're not depressed. You're disobedient.
Yep.
You're not broke. You're disobedient. Your kids aren't bad. You're disobedient.
We're not playing this season.
No.
Because I think that we have to have. I think we have to have the real conversations because we are fluffing. Everything is fluff.
Because everything's about feeling
You're
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
You're great. You're the best.
And
Everyone gets a trophy.
There's a moment for that.
Yeah. There is.
There's a moment for that, but it's like it's time.
But that can't be the life push, because it's actually not a push. It's not. Everything's good. Everything's safe. Everything's to make you comfortable and to support. Yeah, everything.
Everything is about convenience. Everything. And you cannot possibly, which is why you can't live in both worlds. You have to either be in the kingdom or you have to be out.
Yep.
Because being in both, you can't do both. I heard this quote, self-sacrifice is entry-level Christianity.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be prepared to be uncomfortable. And if you're looking to feel good and you're looking to feel like comfortable,
that ain't it.
Good luck.
Yeah. So that brings me to probably my last question. But okay, a lot has changed. You've been through some things. Like, how do you feel right now? Like, where
are you?
Yeah, where are you in the midst of the wilderness?
For sure, the wilderness. That's 100% accurate. That's a great way to describe that. I feel like the most important thing right now for me is I've been able to identify who my enemy is. And then I've been able to identify who the enemy has been using. And so I think that I have this ability and gift when it comes to awareness and self-awareness and being able to articulate certain things. Like, that's probably the common denominator people will say about me, your self-awareness. And I used to carry that like a very proud badge because I feel like so many people aren't self-aware.
Yeah.
But then God checked me just recently and was like, "You're self-aware?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "So how come you don't see me the way I see you?"
I wasn't ready for that part.
He was like, "You only see, you're aware of all the negative things about you, but you're not aware of anything positive. So are you self-aware?"
Why does the negative stuff stick so well?
I said, "Well, if you wanted to just read me for filth, you could have did that."
You can hear something good about yourself every day. One person says one bad thing or one negative thought, and
But
that's it.
it's because we don't know who our enemy is, and we don't know that his goal and tactic is for us to not see ourselves the way God sees us.
Yeah.
And so that's why that negative comment is going to stick out to you more than positive comments. Because guess what? The reality is you agree with it. The reality is you agree with it. And that's why you're focused on it.
With it.
That is his tactic and his goal. He wants us to not see ourselves the way that God sees us because he knows he will never be seen the way that God sees us.
Yeah.
He hates that. That's his whole thing. Yeah. We have to learn how to see ourselves the way God sees us. And when I say we, I mean me. I am the chief of these.
Yes.
who doesn't see anything positive about myself ever. That's a problem.
Right.
And in doing that, you're training yourself to agree with a lie. Because so
Yeah.
now, because every thought is not your own and every thought isn't God's.
Right.
So now when the enemy comes in and plants a thought, you are, because that's your pattern now, you're agreeing, you're coming into agreement with a lie.
Yep.
You're not worthy.
You're like,
You
okay.
know, I'm not. I guess because I've done this and I've done that, and I've been divorced, and
Yeah.
you know, I had sex out of wedlock, and maybe I slept with that guy and I shouldn't have, and I got fired from this job and I didn't do this right. Those are all facts. The enemy is the accuser of the
Facts
brother.
versus truth.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Maybe you are divorced, but the truth is that if you are in Christ, you are a new creature.
Yes.
Old things are passed away. Behold, I've made something new. That's the truth.
Yep.
The fact is, yes, you're divorced.
Yeah.
But the truth is that before you were ever placed in your mother's womb, he knew you. He formed you and gave you the grace that you need for everything that you've been sent out to do. And nothing is a surprise to him.
Yeah.
I love that you said that.
Yeah.
And our last thing that I'm gonna ask you, you keep saying the last thing.
No,
last
I
thing.
said last.
Oh,
You didn't
okay.
have. I said my
Your
last.
thing.
So you still
My
got a
last
last.
thing that I'm gonna ask is, what do you think moms actually need to hear right now?
Man, I think moms need to hear that what's done in secret will come to light, right? And that I know it feels like no one sees how great you are. No one sees how hard you work, or no one sees how much you really do because it's expected for you to just do it. But he sees it all. And there is a great treasure that is waiting for you because you have been obedient to the most important call that anybody could ever say yes to. Saying yes and answering the call to be a mother, God has entrusted you with a life that he has a specific plan for to touch other people. Like he entrusted you with a ministry that's going to set generations free.
Yep.
He trusted you with this gift of life that is going to do so much for so many other people. You're doing something that is way bigger than what you will ever see on social media, TikTok, Instagram, whatever the case may be. What you are doing is important no matter who sees it, who applauds it. God honors it. He's looking at you smiling and honoring your obedience to that ministry of your children. And just know that he sees you and he hears you. And when you're in the closet crying, and when you're in the shower crying, and when you don't feel like you've done enough, and when you feel like you've the worst mom ever, right? He sees you and he knows your heart. Just keep loving those kids, keep loving God, keep being honest with him, and I promise you, what's done in the secret will always be revealed in the light.
Thank you for your
No,
vulnerability.
thanks for inviting
And thank you
me.
for your yes, and
Yes.
for coming and doing this with us.
Thank you. Thank you
because-
for my gifts. My gifts were amazing.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. We try to, we
She
try
was
to
the-
treat people right.
I
you know?
love
do well
the
by
gifts.
people.
I'm big on hospitality. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I appreciate
We
that.
hope you feel loved.
Yes, this is
Thank you
amazing.
so
Your
much.
team, everybody,
Oh.
I mean, your hospitality team, assistants, makeup, hair, everybody is just amazing. You guys got a great
We
team.
love them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have
Our
a great
little
team.
summer camp family.
I love it.
Yes, we love our fam.
I love it.
But you guys, thank you so much for watching.
Yes.
Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope and pray, I know that you were blessed. Make sure you guys share this with someone else. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you
Bye.
again.
Hey mom,
What's up?
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 hey mom,
What's up?